Hello and welcome, I am Garen Reaver and this is Arknights. In this video I'll be talking about something that I've been doing quite a lot lately that originated last year. Trust and rock farming. This technique originated last year when I was gathering a load of Orundum in order to guarantee I got the limited operators. You see, for those you need to have 300 rolls to guarantee you get them within the 2-week period the character is available. This 300 rolls is comprised of Headhunter passes and Orundum, and I've got an Excel spreadsheet that I use to track how much I've got based on how many passes and Orundum I've got. After the Skadi the Corrupting Heart recently, I have been left severely depleted. So I've gone back to my old rock farming ways, which I spent, no joke, 6 months doing last year to set up my stock originally. And I thought, as I used this technique as a way to farm trust at the same time, it might be worth showing off. Along with my spreadsheet on the rolls I also have a spreadsheet for trust. Because operators, they have trust, it can go up to 200%, and when it's at 200%, or as it goes up, it increases their stats slightly. Not by much, but, you know, enough to make it worth doing, I think. So, what I regularly do is change the operators that I'm trust farming, both actively and passively. All of these are max trust, all the way down to here. Brocker is the first that isn't, and I've got about 40 characters who aren't. So he's at 193, with my lowest being 31 Heavy Rain, because I didn't trust farm her during her event, I completely forgot. There are 3 stages to my trust farming. 2 are passive, 1 is active. I'll show you the passive ones first. They are in the base. When you have all 4 dormitories set up with the maximum ambience, you don't actually need to use all 4, because the morale recharge is quick enough that you can do it with just 3 if you change it twice a day. So first off, your assistants. These are the best way to passively farm trust. The way assistants work is they essentially get pinged twice a day rather than just the once other things do. Once at sort of the beginning of the Arknights day and once again at the sort of halfway point. So basically you should never have fully trust things in here unless you don't have any who don't have trust, because this makes no difference, the ones in here, except the trust increase. The other one is in the 4th dormitory. You see the top 3 dormitories I use to recharge my operators running my base. The 4th one I leave constantly on 5 operators, ones that can't contribute normally in any sort of ongoing manner. For example, trainers or workshop people, ones who don't normally get to sit in a room over the sort of the threshold, the tick point when they gain trust. So instead, if you just leave them in this room constantly, they will get the trust every day without you having to do anything. And as sort of a follow-on from that, I do the same with like the training room, and I'm fairly sure it does give them the trust. I mean, at the moment these are just ones because I was trying to train Hoshiguma's skill. But in here I have Mer, who just sits here because I want to increase Mer's trust. And I'm like 95% sure that even ones just sat in a room doing nothing, even if it's not a room for which they're suited, so like you could put anyone in the training room, and it's technically 2 more trust slots. And that is a very good way to passively increase your trust. The active way to increase trust is linked to the rock farming method, and it is something that'll pop up right here. Originium shards. So when I need Orundum, when I'm in dire need of Orundum, such as when I've dipped considerably below my 300 roll threshold, I convert one of my factories to make Originium shards, and one of my posts to get Originium orders. This involves farming, and of the 2 methods, the one that is the most profitable I found is rocks. You change Ori-Rock cubes into shards and then sell them, and it costs a lot in LMD and it costs a lot in rocks, but it is, in my opinion, the best method. So, how do I do that? In the terminal, you go to the story, and then Evil Time Part 2, 1.7. And this level has both the highest rate of drops for Ori Rock in the story, but is also incredibly easy to do, and therefore can double as trust farming. So what I do is, starting with a clear squad, I go to trust, slide all the way down here, and then select the 12 highest but below maximum trust operators you get, and they're usually the ones that sort of suddenly the number of stars goes way up from being very low, and that's because I've got maximum trust with the robots, but lower trust with all of these. So I select 12 of them. You never select support unit because you need to be able to auto-deploy this to make it any kind of worth your time, and then you play the level. And the advantage of this level is it is very, very easy. So you could just basically put anyone here and they will do the job, because you're only fighting basic slugs, a couple of junkmen, that kind of thing. So nothing actually tough. The only things that you've got to watch out for on this level are that you do get a lot of slugs in the middle row, and you get a lot of high defense things in the lower row. So it's very easy to defend this. Like, even Jackie can just defend the middle row for now. And you just stick whatever combination of operators you have that you want to increase the trust, and I can almost guarantee that they'll be able to do it. I have had a couple of times when they failed just because the combination was quite poor. Put Aosta there. Usually, if you just can't deploy anything decent, so in those cases, it might be worth putting like one Vanguard in order to give you the DP to deploy all of your high-cost ones that you haven't deployed. It's just so easy to do this level, so you barely need to concentrate. And once you've just got people deployed, you see the way trust farming works is it is a fraction of the it's like proportional to the, oh wow, I shouldn't have put asbestos there, slowed it down a bit at the end. It is a fraction of the sanity that you've spent goes into their trust, which doesn't seem like much when it is just a 6 cost level, but because it's a flat return rate, so like even if you do a 21, you still get the same return per sanity as you do for a 6 cost one. And the advantage here is that you can continue to get the rock. You see, normally I just play this once and then auto-deploy, but because I messed up putting asbestos there, it just slowed it down and means auto-deploying is a little bit slower. So you're trying to do your best to guarantee that you complete it as quickly as possible on the replay as well, because that will save you time in the long run. But this level's so easy, you barely need to try with it. If you do like I do, admittedly, I increase all of my operators to at least max level E0, even if I have no intention of increasing, like, promoting them anytime soon. So that makes it definitely easier for me to trust farm even characters I don't care about. But frankly, just 1 or 2 good operators in there and you can do it. Like, I set up on the 3 lanes, but by no means do you need to. And then you just keep auto-deploying. And I spent 6 months doing this. I spent all my sanity every day for about 6 months rock farming, and it was difficult. But I did it for a good cause, because after that I guaranteed that I got every single limited operator. And in the process, it allowed me to increase the trust for about 2/3 of my total operators to maximum. Because doing like a full day's worth of this, like, or at least full half day's worth of this, like a full sanity load, increases operators' trust by about 2%, which is not much, but 100 days of this, and it's maximum. Yeah, it's not that hard. It's of course they get the passive stuff from being your assistant, being in the dormitory, so it doesn't take long for you to increase the maximum, to increase their trust to the maximum. It's probably only going to be another day or 2 for me to get Brocker up there, but that's about the basis of it. Then you take the rock, because you sometimes get double drops from the rock, which is pretty good. Change it into shards in a factory and then sell them at a trading post. And voila! You are producing Orundum while trust farming. And it is a bit of a dull way of doing it, but it is by far the most efficient way I found to increase Orundum and trust. So if you're like me, a completionist who wants all of the limited operators and who wants maximum trust on all of his operators, this could be the way to go. I just warn you, don't do this for extended periods. Like, if you can avoid it, don't do it for extended periods. It is ironically demoralizing to do this for extended periods. But I do what I have to do for the love of the game. So I hope this was helpful, I hope this was useful, or at least I hope this gave you a little glimpse into what I experienced for most of last year on Arknights, and thank you very much for watching. Check out my Arknights top 5 operators lists. I've done Vanguards and Guards at this point, and happy farming. I will catch you later.